just like listening to the whole theme song, so I just let it play till I get to that point. It's 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. It is time for In the Garden with Carol Ann. Carol Ann is Carol Ann Baldwin, and she is in the studio right now. And if you have a question for Carol Ann, don't hesitate to call. We invite those calls. The number is 622-9622. If you're watching on the internet, I see some people are. Thank you for doing that. If you happen to be out of the area code is 352. So 352-622-9622. Good morning, Carol Ann.
Good morning, Larry. How are you?
Pretty good.
There. Am I there?
Yeah, you're there. Nice,
No, I am there.
nice weather, right?
Oh, at least it was warmer, even if it was wet.
Yeah.
You get the option. It's wintertime. You're either cold and dry or warm and wet. So I'm not sure.
Well, I think warm and wet is better.
It's warm and wet. Yeah, me too.
Better.
Me too.
Because cold, I don't have a heater in my house, so cold gets into the house.
Cold gets in the house.
Knock on wood, water doesn't. So.
keep an eye on the roof. Yeah, just keep an eye on the roof. No, at least it's wintertime in Central Florida. It's one of those things. We're going to go up and down in the temperatures, and usually, and we're thankful we get a little rain in between. Now, one of those things, and I don't know if you saw it. I put it on Facebook yesterday. It thundered yesterday.
Yeah, it did. Oh, that's right.
Thundered and lightning.
That's right. You've got a theory.
Here's the start of this year's. Let's see if it works. We need 2 more thunderstorms to end winter, and then spring will be heading on in.
What if it's July 1st and you still haven't had that third thunderstorm?
It's probably going to be darn cold, and it's going to.
It's going to be cold.
No, I would think that by that time, if we haven't had a thunderstorm, we are having some issues. But because our thunders, it's just something I had noticed, several years ago, and it seems to be true. But there's probably a perfectly logical explanation for it, just like Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day, I never remember seeing a shadow. It's 6 more weeks till spring, or there's 6 weeks, or 6 more weeks of winter, or 6 weeks till spring. And what that's
it's the same
saying,
thing.
It is the same thing, except that you can read it. If it's 6 weeks until spring, it's a gradual warming. If it's 6 more weeks of winter, it's going to be cold. Until that.
Oh, is that what that means?
And mine is.
You're like an attorney. This is like lawyers talking.
If we have the 3 thunderstorms after that, it's after that third one, we are definitely progressing towards spring more than having serious cold after that. That's where mine comes in.
This is just like an attorney.
Nah.
Yeah, this is attorney
talk. It's a garden stuff.
By the way, my orange tree.
Yes.
Has oranges,
right.
And they are orange in color.
Good.
They're small. They're smaller than a baseball.
Okay.
I guess is the best way to say it. And they taste pretty good.
Yeah.
I tried one.
Good.
But the skin is really thin. Does that mean anything?
No, it's just the variety of fruit.
That's always the way they are?
Yeah.
Because the kind you get at the store, the skin is usually rather thick.
It depends on the variety. Each one, and it can be sometimes related to temperatures and things like that. If the growing conditions on anything can have a tendency to make a skin thicker, make a pepper hotter, an onion stronger. Different growing conditions can affect that, and so same thing in a way with citrus as well. But that tree's an older tree, tucked up in a protected area, but so it's one of those things.
Do you like those those pre-seeded, what do you call them, box gardens? Have you seen these? I saw them at Walmart. They've got the seeds in the dirt. Everything's all ready. You just open them up and put water on them.
Oh, okay. The little kits. Those are some of those.
They weren't that
neat.
little. They were like as big as this mixing board. Which is, I don't know if that's little to you, but that's bigger than the thing we had that year.
That's true. Some of those kits are really neat, and they're not necessarily. They come in all their parts, and you take it out of the packaging and you set it up. And actually, some of them, one I was looking at back in. When was that? Back in September at the FNGLA Expo. It all comes in a box, and inside that box are 3 grow bags. Instead of pots, it's more of a porous type bag.
Okay.
Lets air to come through to the root system as well as allowing good drainage. Comes with the coco coir or the peat mix that you will break open, and when that gets rehydrated with water, it poofs up enough to fill the 3 bags. Plus, it comes with 3 different seeds, so it's enough to, and those ones, the bag was actually large enough that I think you could have grown that plant through pretty well. You might have wanted, I'd have probably wanted to pot it up one time at least. And only in order probably to keep it going as a containerized plant. But it would be something that if you have very limited space or with kids, it's not like the little peat pots like we did, where once that's up 2 or 3 inches, you have to put that either into a larger container or in the ground. Where these other ones are ones that are set up to where you can go ahead and plant that and keep going with it. So I do kind of like those. Look around, make sure you're getting one that fits the area. They have them for herbs where they come in. Sometimes give you 2 or 3 pots and the soil and the seed and all that.
So when they distribute them, like they know that these ones are being distributed to Florida. So are they different than the ones they would distribute to Arizona or to?
They may be. Yeah. They might be somewhat. Generally, it's going to be timing for the time of year. Where here they're shipping in here in the middle of January.
They're right there now.
They're there now. They probably came in right after.
In fact, they were in the same area where the Christmas stuff was.
Right, yeah. Christmas clears out. Spring comes in. That's their seasonal department, so that changes out for all their stuff. But somewhat, there might be a little bit different on the varieties, but probably not, because a California Wonder Pepper is going to grow generally throughout the United States. I'm not sure which of the tomatoes, but a lot of times you'll see in these kits, and I'm not touting Burpee or anything, but you'll have the Burpee Big Boy in all of the kits, and that's just because it's a tomato or a variety that does well pretty much across the nation.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just reminded me of something when you said Burpee. There was a story about the Monsanto.
Yeah.
There's people who don't like Monsanto and people who defend Monsanto, and I'm not trying to take sides, but there was a story that said that Monsanto has patents on certain seeds. Mm-hmm. Whoever they were against that whole idea.
Right.
Okay. So my question is, if they have a patent on the seed because they developed something.
Right. There's intellectual property belonging to it.
Okay, so I'm in agreement with that, actually, at this point.
Right.
But if they have all of the corn, I don't remember what seed it was.
It was.
But can't you still get seed that's not their variety?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The patents on that are for commercial applications. They're not for homeowner. There really are no GMO seeds for the homeowner. I mean, now, yes, if you were a small farm, you may have an issue, but the GMO corn in particular is not it's not your sweet corn. It's your field corn. It's your corn for grain, those kind of corns. The corn oil. Your corn oil, soybean oil, all those things are pretty much all coming from GMO products. And I can understand somebody being upset about the patents and things like that. Right. But you go in and you buy a flower in a big box store anywhere, and if it's patented, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to propagate it.
But
you're allowed to grow it because someone else grew it. But
in order to have a grip on the debate, which is kind of all I really wanted, I just wanted to understand both sides.
Right.
I didn't understand if the argument was, hey, they've got a patent on this seed and now nobody can get it unless they buy it from them, or is their seed, like let's say it's wheat or something, it doesn't matter what it is, I suppose. Can't I get it from somebody else that's just the way God made it? It's not changed in any way. In some instances, it's just that I believe it's about 80 or 90% of all commercial field corns and are the GMO, so they probably do belong to someone. That patent, realize a patent does run out over time. It does take a long time, but there are other varieties. Carolyn, we're up against that break, so we'll take a little break and be right back. Your questions are important, and you do not have to worry about interrupting us and changing our subject. We want you to call about your concerns. The phone number is 352-622-9622. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. After some dense morning fog, we'll see plenty of clouds today. It'll be warm but humid with a shower in spots, mainly this afternoon. The high today 72 to 76. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers around, along with some fog late, low 56 to 60. Tomorrow, areas of fog in the morning, otherwise mostly cloudy skies with the highs anywhere from the mid-60s to the lower 70s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your mobile Verizon rep. But not just here, I'll deliver the phone to you in your home. While I'm there, I'll only sell you what you need and I'll personalize it to you. Want to have me get you connected? Then call me at 352-528-0020. I even offer unlimited home phone service for just $20 per month. Just call me, your mobile Verizon rep, at 352-528-0020.
Come be swept away with medieval magic by volunteering at the 29th Annual Hogtown Medieval Fair on January 24th and 25th and January 30th through February 1st at the Alachua County Fairgrounds. Volunteers will take tickets, oversee exhibits, or provide breaks for the artists. Become a part of Gainesville's rich tradition of community service. Volunteers will receive a one-day pass. Applications can be downloaded at gvlculturalaffairs.org or call the City of Gainesville at 352-393-8536. We all know the importance of good health, but we may not know the latest advances in medicine that are available to us. Monday at 9 a.m., Bern Paraiso will be our roving medical reporter to tell us about Seven Hill Gastroenterology PA and Dr. Reddy. We'll discuss screening, techniques, and more. So tune in and listen. This is more than news you can use. It's news that could save your life. That's Monday at 9:05 a.m.
18 minutes after 9 o'clock. By the way, 59 degrees here at the studios of The Source. You do have a phone call, Carol Ann.
Correct.
Carol Ann Baldwin is here, of course. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
I have a question. My wife wants to she loves tangerines, and she wants to get a tangerine tree.
Okay.
For here in Ocala, is something that's a high maintenance, or in your past experience, have you had any luck with them?
Oh, yeah. The thing with citrus nowadays is that there is the concern with citrus greening. Citrus trees, 20 years ago, when you put one in the ground, you could expect to have a citrus tree that would live 35 years or so, or better, producing fruit that whole time. Now they're saying that if you get a good 15 years out of the tree, you're doing well. They can have some maintenance issues. They do need to be fertilized. There are some pests that will attack them, and one of those pests is that the citrus psyllid, the Asian citrus psyllid, and that is what causes the greening. Generally controlling, what you would be trying to do would be to try to control the adult. There are several different ways of spraying for that, and also just trying to keep and maintain the health and the vigor of the plant helps it to fight it off probably a lot easier than what people think. I wouldn't not plant one personally. If I wanted one, I would go ahead and plant and realize that it's not something that's your tree's going to get it or anything like that, because they are working on trying to figure out how to stop it. But I would figure you're going to still get some good crop of fruit over over a period of years.
Now, I looked at the bottom; it was grafted.
Yes.
Like a little bit up, and then how did they get? It looks like the original was cut off about 6 inches above the ground.
Yep.
Then the other one stuck. How do they get that to stick on like that?
They do that when the trees are about the size of a pencil or a magic marker, is when they're grafted together. The bottom is generally either a sour orange or trifoliate rootstock, and that's done for the hardiness of the root zone and the overall general on the tree. The top part of it, the graft above, is the sweet part of the tree. that's generally the area that you need to have concern if we get real cold, is so long as that graft doesn't freeze or it does not kill the tree down below that to that graft, your tree will, not have an issue of coming back sweet should it ever get frozen in a really hard freeze. It's just the way they do them is because the sweet trees are not as resistant to soil-borne pathogens, nematodes, root rots, and things like that.
Are orange trees the same way?
Yes. All of our citrus is grafted. You can have ones that are just on their own rootstock, but again, you got to realize they will be thorny. They may not have the cold hardiness or, like I said, the longevity based on root zone problems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You have a great day.
You too. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And looking for citrus, all of the citrus trees grown for sale in Florida are grown in greenhouses now because of citrus greening. They're all grown in a climate control area in order to prevent that insect, can prevent the citrus psyllid from coming in and infecting them before they ever have a chance of getting out on the market. There are, and I know some people are not a big fan of systemic insecticides. All of the citrus trees sold in Florida are treated with a systemic insecticide. They have a date on it. Make sure when you purchase it, it's within that date. It's before the date that's on there, because if it's after that, it means that tree was supposed to go back to that nursery where it came from and be retreated.
Oh, really?
So that so that you're being sold a tree that has been protected.
And you do have another phone call.
Great.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Hi there.
Hey.
This is Dennis. I kind of got a question about pepper plants.
Okay.
I grew the same variety of daddle peppers or whatever in some same size pots. Everything about the two plants that I'm going to compare are the same as far as the soil, the amount of water, and the amount of sunlight. All that's the same.
Right.
Some of them grew like tall and gangly and had a few peppers on it, and some of them were more of a bush like I kind of have experienced in the past.
Right.
Now, my question is, can I take one of them that survived the weather, because I bring them in,
Right.
And cut it back like you do like a hibiscus or something, and have it bush out and be a smaller plant with more fruit on it?
Oh, yeah, you can cut the pepper back. Yeah, sure can. I would probably still wait a little while to cut them back, just because you don't want to try to force the growth yet.
You mean like wait till this afternoon, you mean? No, I'm just kidding. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'd wait a little bit. Because
Before
peppers
they start getting new growth on it.
Right. Or as you start to see that's starting to go through and cut them. Oh, yeah, you can, and you can actually prune them while they're growing, and just realizing that you're going to get leaf growth in those sections where you've cut at other times. But because they are a perennial, they're a shrub, they're a little bush. You can if you can keep them alive through the winter, you can keep them and prune them back. I have one. I don't know if it survived in the garden. I didn't get to the garden today, and I had cut it back in order to be able to cover it, and it was putting out new green as of last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That'll make my life easier.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
The wind wants to push them over and everything when they get tall.
Oh, yeah. And if so long as it looks good and it was producing fruit and things like that, and because they're in containers, you have less problem on the issues of root-borne problems. Just do watch the amount of water because of containers and your amount of fertilizers.
Okay, will do.
All righty.
Thank you much.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you. And the phone lines are open. If you want to call 622-9622. You had a few callers trying to make their way in. So let me take a couple more.
Sure.
One at a time, I should say. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Carol Ann and Larry.
Yeah, morning.
To the gentleman who called earlier about the citrus tree, the tangerine, I just want to mention I have a satsuma that I planted that about 5 years ago, and it's the most cold hardy, so I never have had to cover it, and every year I get at least 100 to 150 tangerines. So I just love my satsuma and can't wait to plant another one.
There you go.
Maybe that's helpful to him.
Great. That probably would, and yeah, that does at least letting him know the satsuma is a good citrus, is a good tangerine for this area.
Right, and they are delicious. They have very few seeds, and they're just wonderful. So thanks for your show, Carol.
All right, thanks. There you go. It's always nice to have, the
I gotta look that up. I don't even know what that is.
Satsuma?
Yeah.
It's a variety of tangerine. It is one that's popular in this area because it is very cold hardy. Most citrus is actually very cold hardy. People don't realize what happens if we have a frost, no big deal. A freeze, generally no big deal, especially if there's fruit on the tree. What happens is either when the flowers are coming on, the buds, if we have a hard freeze, it's going to damage them. Or possibly new tiny fruit that are on there. If we're having a hard freeze in the wintertime when there's fruit on the tree, it can damage the fruit. It will damage that before it ever damages the tree seriously.
And you do have another phone call. Good morning. You're on there with Carol Ann.
Hey, it's me again. I wanted to help Larry out here. Larry, when you moved into your new offices, I brought in a big container of citrus.
Oh, okay.
And those were the satsumas.
Oh, okay. Well, then I know what they are.
There you go.
It gets, what did I call them? The oranges, maybe?
You probably called them oranges, yeah.
I just called them by the wrong name. Huh.
Yeah, well, I mean, we usually will say orange, but instead of tangerine or whatever exact mandarin, what they are. But sometimes on the satsuma tag, I've even seen mandarin.
Is it a Japanese name? Satsuma sounds.
Yeah, I believe it probably is one of the the Asian varieties. They do well here. Yeah, they do well. Super.
All right. Well, thank you, and thank you for
wanted to share that.
Yeah.
Thank you for the fruit too.
Yeah.
I remember it.
Yeah, remember that? Just like you say, everybody calls them oranges. Got a basket of oranges. They're orange.
Gotta know.
Yeah, if it was a lemon, you're not going to say, oh, somebody gave me a basket of Meyer lemons. No, I got lemons.
Yeah.
So it's so that's just the way we all classify them all in one.
And just before the Christmas season, I remember seeing lots of options of fruit, more than there are maybe.
Well, usually if you'll see them on the advertisement where the honey bells are a gifting kind of fruit, and
yeah.
I don't know why they say navel oranges are, because they're not my favorite.
Did you happen to hear our discussion this morning about the thank you baskets?
No, I didn't. No. I missed. No.
It was the thank you basket that you send the morning after you have a good night with somebody.
Oh.
And I was wondering what was in the basket.
I don't know.
Are people sending fruit? What are they sending?
I have no idea.
It never happened to you?
Never. I've been married too long.
See, that's not the same thing. It must be something the younger people are doing.
Something new.
Thank you for last night. That was great. Here's some oranges.
Sending bananas? I don't know.
I'm not sure. All right. Gosh, we're just about up to the bottom of the hour. But your calls are important, and your questions are important. If you have any, the number is 622-9622. And can you eat those? I know we got just a half a minute. Those little berries that grow on the palm trees.
Yeah.
Can you eat them?
Yeah, the pinto
orange.
palms. Oh, it's from the pinto palm. It's also called the jelly palm.
And you can eat them?
And you can eat them. They're sweet. People make jelly out of them. They do make a mess in the yard, or the birds come through and get them.
Birds don't care.
Yeah, birds love them.
But squirrels eat acorns, and they don't taste good at all.
No, they don't. But you can roast those and make coffee out of them, too. So.
You've made coffee out of acorns?
You can.
Oh.
I don't drink coffee.
You don't. That wouldn't be coffee. It'd be acorny or something.
That's right.
All right, we'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. 4 Jewish victims killed in Paris' supermarket terror attack laid to rest in Israel.
This is relatives of Yoav Hatab, Francois Michel Sada, Yoav Cohen, and Philippe Braham spoke briefly and lit a torch in memory of their loved ones. The victims are not Israelis, but are being buried in the country's largest cemetery because it's believed their graves could be vandalized in France.
Fox Radio's Jessica Gallagher in Jerusalem. Meanwhile, word of an arrest in Bulgaria of a suspect possibly linked to the attack on a magazine office in France, where security is ratcheted up.
Police are being backed up by French soldiers. 10,000 now fully deployed today, not just helping with the hunt, but also guarding sensitive locations.
Fox's Greg Palcott. And two of the nation's toughest abortion bans are before a federal appeals court today. North Dakota and Arkansas will ask the court to reinstate the restrictions. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Good communication is key to business, especially when you need to work together with people that aren't in the same office. So what do millions of small business professionals do when it's time to connect with remote clients and colleagues? They use Citrix GoToMeeting, the proven solution for meeting and collaborating online. Now it's your turn to see why. Visit GoToMeeting.com and click the Try It Free for 30 days button. That's GoToMeeting.com for your free 30-day trial. GoToMeeting. Meeting is believing.
When your fingers grace your nimble wireless keyboard, do you feel a connection? Do you consider your 8-gig memory laptop your office BFF? If so, you might be gear-centric, someone who knows that the right office gear helps you do great things. And at Office Depot and Office Max, we have the quality tech gear you need. Right now, all PCs are on sale, like a 15-inch HP laptop for $249.99. Office Depot and Office Max. Gear up for great. Valid in-store only. Offer ends 1/17.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
In a recent study, when college kids played a violent video game on a 3D screen for just 15 minutes, they felt angrier than students who played the same game on normal 2D screens. Research in the Psychological Bulletin shows that when women are representing somebody else's interest, they usually out-negotiate men. If you tend to respond with "not now, I'm busy" with your voice or with your body language, your marriage is going to be doomed.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need
too.
my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
Your home is safe, or is it? AA Lock, Dock, and Security. The name has been a staple in Ocala since 1985. Do you have the right equipment in place to have peace of mind when you are at home or away? AA Lock, Dock, and Security has the right people to install and monitor your home or business. Call today for a free on-site security analysis. Call 867-1965. AA Lock, Dock, and Security, 219 Northwest 10th Street, 867-1965.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock, Carol Ann Baldwin is here. The program you're listening to is called In the Garden with Carol Ann, and you're invited to call. You're invited to be part of the show. It doesn't have to be a question. You can call in to make a statement. The phone number,
share a tip.
as long as it's garden related.
Yeah.
We don't need any politics. We don't need no stinking politics.
No politics.
The number is 352-622-9622, and somebody's ready on the phone. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Say, we had a nice little 2-inch rain there last night or yesterday, so we're really doing good in the rain department.
Oh, yeah.
You were talking about fruit trees earlier, and the question I have is the kumquat tree. What use is it, and is it any time in the year where that little fruit gets sweet?
I'm not a fan of kumquats personally. People use them. They'll make jellies and jams, preserves with them. They'll do, I think, like a pineapple upside down cake, but using kumquat. I'm not a fan of them because I don't find that they ever get sweet. It's an acquired taste.
When I first moved to Florida, when I was visiting my folks down in Tampa Bay area, they had a lot of those kumquat trees. They're nice looking trees, don't get me wrong.
Right.
And I'm walking down the path there, and I reached up to pick one of those guys out and took a bite, and holy mackerel, never again.
No, I'm not a fan either. I think it's an acquired taste. People, you either like
sour?
them. Yeah, they're a sour, almost a bitter. I had them once or twice, and I just it's going, I don't need to do that. So I'm not.
Are they in the orange tree family?
They are a citrus, yes. They are within the citrus family, and there are several different varieties. So there might be some that are now sweeter where they've crossbred them with others. But somebody better go, yes, this is one sweet. Here, try it before I go ahead and just sample one myself again. I wasn't a fan.
Yeah, I mean, like you never hear of a kumquat, pie or anything. So I mean, I suppose if you're making jam or whatever you mentioned there, you probably got to use a lot of sugar.
Well, yeah, you would be doing some sugar, but again, that same thing with like marmalade. Marmalade is very tart, and so I think sometimes people make a marmalade out of it or use it as another flavor within some of maybe the sweeter fruits to tone them down, to add a little bit of an acidity and tartness to it. But it's just not. It's not a flavor that I want by itself.
Yeah.
It's acquired taste.
Well, let's hope we get a little more rain. We can always use the rain, I guess. But I'm very happy with the way this winter's been going. We've had cool spells, but not what we call a real cold spell, and it hasn't done any damage anywhere that I can see. And we've got plenty of rain, and we're really doing good in that department.
Oh yeah. So it sure is. Let's hope we have just a regular normal winter. The nice cycles of up and down that come in with a little rain, get chilly, warm up, do the same thing over and over.
According to the Weather Channel I watched the other day, they had the projection for the rest of the month of January, and the whole country is going to be above normal temperature and weather than normal. So we're looking pretty good. It gets through January anyways.
Well, yeah, then we just have February to get through, and hopefully we can make it through that all right. That's our worst one, I think.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, you. Yeah, with our temperatures and weather and all that stuff, it is those January and February are our worst.
By the way, the skin of the kumquat, according to this article, is an aphrodisiac. The skin.
Yeah.
Do you
eat the whole thing.
Eat the whole thing?
It's like, no. Not me, thanks. But being it is in January, we are in January.
You don't like African food?
I don't know. I probably
do. It's an aphrodisiac.
Oh, I was going to say I like okra.
I was just teasing about that.
But no, we are into January, and it is time to go ahead and start thinking about that spring garden. I see we got a phone call, so I'll take that and we'll get into the.
Okay. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, guys and gals.
Yeah.
Listen, I have a patio lime.
Okay.
And it's in a nice urn, and every year that I've had it, it's produced nicely. But I was wondering, am I supposed to trim back the tips of the limbs come this spring, or are you never supposed to trim those back?
If you trim those back is when you're going to lose fruit. So what you would have to do is once it either has its fruit set on it, would be to prune the ones that don't have any fruit on them if you need to control that size some.
Yeah, it's starting to look a little gangly.
Okay.
You know?
Right. And you can even come down from the top some, you know, again, realizing if you do it before the fruit is on it, it's going to limit the amount of fruit.
Okay, so wait till it sets fruit and then prune what I want to. And then after the fruit has been picked, is that a good time to cut it back?
When do they usually ripen?
Gosh, it takes a long time.
Yeah, most citrus takes about 9 months.
It's like 3 and 4 months.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I know most citrus can be up to like 9 months. You set fruit in February, you're not harvesting until November, December.
Yeah, it seems like a long time. I've really never paid attention to how many months, but I kept thinking, gee, aren't they ready yet? You know, I'd go out and squeeze one.
And just keep waiting. Right. No, actually, I think your best bet's going to be during that time once you see that your fruit is there. If you're not, if you don't mind losing some fruit or losing a year of fruit, you could prune it in the spring and not worry about that. Just shape it up and just hope you get some fruit, because your buds are going to start to set. This is January. You should probably start to see some buds starting on it in another month. And then once you're seeing that, pruning at that point, and you could even go, okay, I'm going to leave some fruit just a little bit and I'll shape the rest of it.
Well, that's good advice. I will just leave it alone until it sets some fruit and go from there. One other question, and then I'll let you go. I have a desert rose.
Okay.
And it is humongous as far as it's got these big, long arms. I bring it in. Of course, it doesn't like the winter. And I bring it into my garage where there's fluorescent light at night, keep it warm. But it's getting army, Can I cut those arms back?
Yeah. You could actually, I would probably take them back to the joint. That's usually where anything on a cactus or succulent type plant is. You're going to go back to where it is attached somewhere.
Okay.
And taking it off there.
When do I start fertilizing that?
Spring.
Spring.
I would say
March.
March. Yeah. Pretty much anything we have, we want to put off until March.
Well, it's been a beautiful bloomer, but it just got, I got other things going, and I forgot about it, and I looked at it and said, oh, my goodness, the arms of it are humongous.
Just getting massive. Yeah, in order to get that size back. Sure, but I would take them back to where they're joined, or if it has a segmented section of taking them off at that point.
Will those cuttings root?
They would. Yeah, I would dust them with... treat them with a fungicide, let it air dry, a day or so, dip them in a rooting hormone, and then stick them in some just moist sand.
Do the fungicides come in a powder form too?
You may have to find those at a nursery. I haven't seen them in the stores, but that's usually the best way, is if you can find. One of the companies did used to make a powdered. It was like a fungicide and insecticide in one that you could have used. It was one of the bonide garden dust kind of thing. If you take a look, all the stores are starting to get their spring things in, or even you might even do a catalog order or something like that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Carol Ann. Y'all have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. And you have another phone call coming in. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hi, Miss Hattie. Got a question for you about citrus trees.
Okay.
I have an orange, I have a grapefruit, and I have a couple of lemon Meyer key lime combos.
Okay.
And I noticed every one of them, even though they're in different areas of the backyard, every one of them are beginning to get little curly leaves on them.
Oh.
Is there anything I need to spray on them, or what do I need to do? I know you got to do it before the blossoms start coming out, right?
Well, on either before it or after the blossoms drop. Once the fruit is set on them, it depends on the product. Are you seeing, when you say curly leaves, it's like there's new growth coming out and it's curled, or it's leaves.
Some of them are the older leaves that are got just a curl to them, and I've opened up the curl and there's nothing in them. They're just curly leaves.
It's just sort of like a roll to the leaf.
Yeah.
Like if you were going to roll a leaf over a pen or a pencil because you're fidgeting with it. Okay. Yeah, that's not an insect or disease issue per se. How old are the trees? Are they all in the ground? And
the grapefruit and the orange tree have been there for a long time. Got it with the house.
Okay.
And the other, the Meyer and
the
whatever
little mix,
combo,
yeah.
Yeah, those are in pots, and I just bought those 2 years ago. I had questioned you about those, and you said leave them in pots because of the Meyer lemon being more of a tropical and needs to be more down south than here. So you said leave it in a pot, like a wine barrel pot.
Right, the
so
big, yeah.
I have them in those. But they're in the backyard and, away from the other trees. And I just thought, wow, is there something airborne that's causing this issue or
okay,
what?
so they're all doing that same, I call it pencil roll, look over, to it.
Yeah.
I'm not real sure exactly what's causing it, but unless you're seeing a pest, because usually when we think of a curl or anything, you're thinking of where the aphids are feeding and they come out twisted, or you've got the leaf miner, the silvering on the backside of them, or that it may just actually be a bit nutritional, and we're going to get ready to be feeding pretty soon anyway. And citrus, they are evergreen, but they do lose leaves.
Okay.
So even if they lose some of those leaves, it's not, it should not affect the overall health of the tree.
Okay. Well, is there anything that I could spray on it to prevent, I don't know, any kind of pests that are getting ready to break out because of this? Or not necessarily?
Not necessarily, no. The only thing would be a systemic, and those are usually applied after the flowers have come and gone. I would, if you want something nutritional, take a look around in some of the stores for what they call chelated nutrients or the citrus. It's a topical micronutrient spray that you would either mix up in your sprayer or in a hose end and spray it on the foliage. And this is probably about that time of year that you'd be doing it.
Okay, good deal. Well, we'll take care of that. Maybe everything will straighten out.
There you go.
No pun intended.
You're right.
All right. Thank you much.
You're welcome.
Have an awesome day, and thank you for the show. This is very informative.
Thanks.
Thank you. We'll take a little break, and we'll be right back, Caroline.
Yeah. The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. After some dense morning fog, we'll see plenty of clouds today. It'll be warm but humid with a shower in spots, mainly this afternoon. The high today 72 to 76. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers around, along with some fog late, low 56 to 60. Tomorrow, areas of fog in the morning, otherwise mostly cloudy skies with the highs anywhere from the mid-60s to the lower 70s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Hi, my name is Dr. Erica Olstein with A Better You Healthcare Acupuncture and Eastern Medicine. As primary care physicians, we use acupuncture to treat back pain, arthritis, migraines, allergies, high blood pressure, thyroid disorders, hormone imbalances, stress, and more using all natural medical therapies. We treat the source of your problems, not just your symptoms. For more information, go to abetteryouhealthcare.com or call today to set up your appointment, 352-615-5566.
This message brought to you by Urban Cardiology.
Jersey Mike's Subs is giving away their subs. That's right, January 12th through the 19th, buy one sub and get the second of equal value or less for only a $2 donation to Kid Genius right here in Ocala. Kid Genius provides resources for kids with autism, like early detection, outreach programs, and more. So the next time you're hungry, pop into Jersey Mike's on Easy Street for a great tasting sub and help Kid Genius. But hurry, this is a limited time offer. For more information about Kid Genius, visit kidgeniusinc.org.
You do your best to protect your loved ones, and while you may keep a fresh battery in your smoke detector and have a reliable home security system, there's a whole different type of protection you may be missing. A life insurance policy from Auto Owners Insurance is a way to safeguard your loved ones now and in the future. Meet with your local independent agent and secure a policy today to protect them tomorrow. Visit George Mangan Insurance in Ocala today at manganinsurance.com.
Experience the golden age of aviation with a ride on a fully restored 1929 airliner, EAA's immaculate Ford Tri-Motor, when it lands at Ocala International Airport Thursday, January 15th through Sunday, January 18th. You can also take a ride on EAA's World War II B-17 bomber Aluminum Overcast, one of the greatest military aircraft of all time. Book your flights today online at b17.org and flytheford.org or call 1-800-359-6217. Hosted by EAA Chapter 812.
All right, 9 minutes before 10 o'clock. Carol Ann Baldwin is here. The last part of the program is right now. So if you want to call in right now so that if it's a long answer, then you'll have a lot of time to get that answer.
Right.
622-9622 is the number. By the way, at the end, I do have a gift certificate for Bob Wines that we'll give away. It's worth $20. The way you win it is by answering whatever question I come up with.
There you go.
And I'm not even sure what I'm going to ask today.
What you going to ask? No, I'll get back to what I was starting to say is this is January, middle of January. You get your spring planting getting ready to come up, and I see the phone's ringing again. Get ready to start some seeds.
Okay, sorry.
It's all right.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Hi, this is Kathy.
Yeah.
Hi, Carol Ann.
Hey, how are you?
Larry. I was given a neat little hyacinth plant for my birthday, and it's in a little tiny vase, and the long roots hang down in the water.
Okay.
And all it says is keep it in a well-lit place.
Okay.
Keep it 75% full of water, and keep it in a cool place. Will it really grow forever like that?
It should.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably, I'm not sure, hopefully, don't let it out in the water system if it's actually a true water hyacinth, but, when you...
Oh, yes, we don't need those, do we?
No, we don't. But, yeah, it should do fine on that. You may need to put it eventually into a larger container.
Okay.
That's, is it like in a vase?
It's like in a vase. Exactly.
Okay, right, and it sits in the top of it and the roots down. Well,
it's like a big bulb.
Right. And that's how if you remember a few years back, they had the big thing with like the beta fish, that when you had the fish bowl and then you had the plant on top.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
and that's and he swam around in through there, and his waste fed the plant.
Cool. Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Right.
Actually, I took that plant that I got for that purpose, and it's a gorgeous plant planted in a pot.
Right. Oh yeah, I think a lot of people did. It's like, okay, why do I don't need the fish, or the fish dies or something like that, and they go ahead and plant the plant. But that's it should do fine in a water environment like that. And they'll probably tell you how often you may need to use like a liquid based fertilizer if you don't have a fish underneath them.
Oh, okay. No, it didn't say that.
Yeah.
So.
You may need to in the springtime, just do making a weak liquid fertilizer and just put it in that water, and then maybe after a few days dumping that water out and putting fresh water back in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's one of those. They were trendy and kind of neat. And
they don't do them anymore, huh?
I mean, they do, but you don't see near as many of them. I think like with anything.
It's like these little birds that bop back and forth.
Yeah. I love that thing. I sit here and watch it the whole time. But no, it's about time to get your seeds together. I know I've gotten a bunch of seed catalogs in the mail over the last week or so. Flip through them. Many of them have coupons on them that if you place your order by a certain date, they're going to give you a bonus, et cetera, or if you spend that much. Get with your neighbor and things. If when the shipping and handling sometimes can get a little, overboard, make it worth your while when you're going to do an order like that. Like I said, get with a neighbor or go through if there's some of those interesting little gardening, I got to try it's kind of things, specific fertilizer, stuff like that you've not seen in the stores. Go for it and enjoy it. Gardening is experimentation all the time. It's just, your garden, your kitchen, all that stuff is for, fun. That's why it's fun to get kids into it. There's some neat raised bed kits or the pieces that you then just go buy the cut lumber to fit in to make your square foot gardens.
You know what I should do? I'll try to remember to do this. This week I'll buy one of those kits.
Sure.
And next week you put it together.
We'll put it together.
And then
Sounds
whatever
like fun.
plants we get out of it, we'll do like we did last year. We gave it away or
give
whatever.
them away.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Well, it was more than a year ago. That was like 2 years.
That was a couple years ago. And Oksana, she had gotten them and sent us pictures. And we
Boy, that was a while ago.
Yeah, that was a while back. That was
yeah.
Yeah, well, we were still.
But this is a good time of year to do that, don't you think?
It's a good time of year to do that. Sure is. Yep. And they're a lot of fun, too. And, just looking at some of these things, right now, if you don't have a seed mat, you're new into gardening, or you don't want to go to that expense, we've mentioned it before of when you do your trays up or you're recycling your yogurt cups or your plastic butter tubs or anything, put them, once you got them planted, a little bit of plastic wrap or setting them inside of a plastic bag where you can make the humidity and putting them on top of the refrigerator. Just don't forget they're there. The warmth of the refrigerator will help them to germinate more quickly once they're up. So you need to check them every 3 or 4 days and see how they're doing. Once they're up, you got to take that plastic covering off of them. You could, your kitchen's generally not going to be bright enough in that location. You then need to get them into enough sun or you end up with real spindly, leggy plants that you're constantly having to transplant down further, deeper into the pots till it's big enough to put outside.
That's where my cat used to like to sleep. Was on top
the cat.
of the
because it's warm.
It's warm there,
and it's warm. But it does a great job for germinating seeds.
So you ready for my question?
I'm ready for your question.
I was trying to debate which question to ask, and some of the questions seemed like they were subjective or objective. See, I'm never sure what objective and subjective. I never really know the difference. So my question is, if you want the $20 gift certificate to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery, call me right now and tell me the difference between subjective and objective.
All right, you're going to look it up online.
and P.S., we won't know if you're wrong.
Because you're not looking.
Just so you know.
Just so you know.
$20 is yours from Bob Wines. It's fun.
That's it. Yeah, and it's still a good time. We're getting ready to put some perennials in another month or so. Or if you're looking for hardy shrubs to put in, the camellias are still blooming. Gives you a chance to go look. And he is a camellia garden, so you can see which ones are blooming in the colors that you might like.
And when you get them, you got to spread out those roots because that one of the Cascades is still small. It's still there.
It's still good. It's still.
I went down there and it's still there, but it's not big.
It hasn't grown.
And it's been how many years now?
Probably been 5 or better, 6.
It should be big by now, right?
It should have some size.
So we made a mistake when Doug and I planted it.
Yeah,
we didn't
work
spread out the roots.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we have a winner here.
They're all winners.
We have to. We don't know the answer. Good morning. Do you know the answer between the difference between subjective and objective?
Yeah, well, since nobody else is calling in, subjective, I remember the S means self. It's influenced by your self feelings and opinions, whereas objective, it's measurable, it's factual, and that's it.
That sounds right to me. It's good enough to me.
Can you use it in two examples? My garden is good. That's subjective, right? Because it's my garden.
It would be more of an argument that you're going to make.
My roses are better than her roses. That's subjective?
That would be subjective, unless you can then say, because I've done this, better than they do.
Right.
But my roses are bigger than her roses would be objective.
In that example, my roses are better than hers or whatever, because they're the best ones for this area. They're planted in the right place in the climate, and somebody else might say, well, but I like mine because they the smell is better,
Right,
the
and
fragrance.
that would be, yeah.
Well, I think your answer is the best one we have so far.
That's it.
And that's subjective, I think, or objective. No, objective because it's factual.
There we go.
So, Lauren, you got the $20.
I'm sorry?
You have the $20 gift certificate.
Okay, well, I'd like to offer that up to anyone who'd like to call in and get that.
Okay,
There
all right,
you
all right.
go.
I had a feeling you were doing
Yeah.
that. All right, thank you, Lauren, and thank you, Caroline.
Thanks, Larry.
That was fun. That was fun. All right, we'll see you next week.
Next week it is.
Got a cooling trend.
Uh-oh.
Well, we'll be back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Those killed in France's terror attacks being remembered today.